What is going on? I'm Zedmont. We are here on the dev build. Little bit late, slept in, didn't get the notification, missed the sneak peek deadline, but I figured, you know what? I still owe it to you guys to get this video out, show you some stuff about warships. We are on to season number 9. There are some things that are the same. Those things are that these chests, the wooden tier, the stone tier, the iron tier, all the way up, still have the exact same rewards they did last season. That's fantastic for those of you who like to plan all of these things out. I figured I'd show you that just so you can see exact same number of keys and tokens as last season. This season is going to be 30 days long by the looks of things, give or take, depending on what happens in the actual live build. Now, this is called Take Flight. I really do like the fact they've continued this naming thing. Now, I'm going to show you some basic stuff. First of all, there has been a change. They have nerfed the Choppas. They have turned the Rocket Choppas to make 4 GBE to deploy. They have made a big change to make the Heavy Choppas cost 8 GBE to deploy. That's going to be a fairly substantial change to help balance things. They haven't changed the health or the damage or which troops it drops or anything like that. All they've done is made them more expensive to drop. And that's going to have a bit of a change and a bit of an impact right away. As you can see by the initial tech tree, we have got Rocket Choppas as one of our first 2 initial troops. We start out with the Rocket Choppa, and then we have access to the heavies. Now, I've spent a couple tokens, a couple keys, and gotten a basic path. Now, one thing to be aware of with your landing crafts, for the get-goes, unless you're going to unlock heavies, you don't need to go to max. In order to get 8 boats, you only need to go up to that 3rd tier, so consider not maxing out your landing crafts right away. One other thing to be aware of, when you first get your gunboat, you only have 32 GBE. So if you have 8 rocket choppas and you drop them, you're not going to be able to use flares. And flares are going to be crucial for the 2 and 3 engine room metas because you need to use them. Otherwise, your rocket choppas are going to get absolutely pummeled and you're going to lose. Now, I'm a little bit concerned about the early season for warships, so I would highly recommend getting out of the 2 engine room and out of the 3 engine room meta as fast as you can, because as you can see here, these cannons are going to single shot rocket choppas. These sniper towers, once we upgrade them, are going to be very close to single-shotting rocket choppas, and we're going to have a whole lot of them. We're going to have at least 4 or 5 of them there, plus you can get 2 more in this choice node. Obviously, boom mines and mines are going to be completely useless against rocket choppas, but I'm not convinced it's going to be all rocket choppas early on. I think some heavies are probably going to get mixed in, especially when people stay at that 2 engine room for a while. Get the heck away from 2 engine rooms, because I think there's going to be a lot. My initial thought was, hey, we're going to have these engine rooms far across and we're going to make them go across that gap. But really, what I think is going to happen is people are going to clump these in the back corner and then just surround them with defenses. And people who only have rocket choppas are just going to get absolutely punished by machine guns and cannons and all sorts of stuff on their way to those engine rooms. So rocket choppas are fairly fragile. As you can see here, only 1950 health, whereas this cannon is doing in the neighborhood of 3100 damage per shot. So going to be taking these down in a single shot without any problem at all. Before we get any further, I figured I would show you an attack. Let's get a live attack against someone on the dev build, see what we can get going, and hopefully get a nice opponent rocking and rolling here. I probably should go back and load up my boats because you really don't want to attack with empty boats. Not a great idea at all. Loading up with the diamonds. We have millions of them on the dev build anyways, and this is actually me attacking against myself. I'm pretending we're looking for an opponent. Finding opponent always gets you antsy-pantsy. Found opponent. Surprise, surprise. Now, what we're going to do is, first of all, we're just going to drop rocket choppas in there and flare that engine room just so I can show you how fast these rocket choppas are going to get absolutely pummeled. Not sure we're actually going to get to that engine room. It's going to be very close. Getting one engine room down, nope. So, like I said, this is with someone who has spent only a bare minimum of tokens on the defensive side, so just got absolutely punished. Now, granted, there are other routes to the engine rooms. Let's just do one more attack, loading up with diamonds again. So, but I wanted you to be aware, if you're going to go all rocket choppas, be aware that there's going to be problems. And obviously, if you mix some heavies in, your pathing is going to be different because heavies can't just jump over that gap. So what you're going to have to potentially do is come way, way, way over here and then come back around. And that's why I think for the 2 engine room or the 3 engine room meta, there's going to be a lot of clumping going on, simply because we don't have shocks. We don't have any ways to protect these rocket choppas in that we don't have shocks, we don't have smokes, so you're going to need to stay the heck away from things, and with clump bases, you can't do that, obviously. Now, we're going to come round the horn here in a second, and as soon as we do so, we should be able to take this down. But I just wanted to show you that setting up your defenses in a way that people have to go wide around the long way, going to be very, very beneficial for the early seasons of this whole take flight thing. Now, if someone's mixing in some heavies, the heavies obviously can't make that jump, so they're going to have to go wide around to the right, and that's where I think the clump bases in the back corner are going to be super handy. So maybe you want to clump your base right in here so the person can't bring their heavies with them, and then just clump all your defenses in front of it so people have to come and attempt to get in there. But I do think that this back corner is probably going to be a better bet. Anyways, I wanted to show you, so this is the 2 engine room layout. I wanted to also show you what the 3 engine room layout is going to look like. We're going to get, that gap in the middle is going to get smaller and smaller, and then we're going to move on. Oops, let's move on to 4 engine rooms, again, getting smaller. And you'll notice that between the 2 engine room all the way up to the 3, we still have that small ramp on the right-hand side, which is great. And then suddenly we move along and we've got 5 engine rooms, and that ramp on the right-hand side gets nice and big, which reduces the number of hidey holes you can use. With flying troops, bit of a difference, obviously. And then as we move down to 6, it just gets smaller, and then at 7, slightly smaller. So I wanted to show you the floor layouts. Supercell has done a great job making those floor layouts interesting, and with the troops flying over top, potentially leaving behind troops on the ground, going to be an issue. I wanted to go quickly through the tech tree, show you a couple details. So we don't get our first hero until after 3 engine rooms. Right in here we get Everspark. Moving down, anyone HQ 12 or higher can get 4 engine rooms. Once you get 4 engine rooms, we get into the heavy choppas, which are going to be extremely useful, but GBE will be a bit of a factor. But there is GBE up in here, GBE up in here, up in here, up in here, and then we've got obviously the gunboat back here. One thing to be aware of, as always, is these things add percentage gunboat energy, so you do want to make sure that you have your gunboat back at the initial node maxed, because adding 10% of 50 is obviously worth 5, 10% of 30, you're only getting 3. So these nodes become more valuable if you've maxed your original gunboat. Then moving down along, HQ 18 is required to get 5 engine rooms, which also gives you access to bombardiers. Keeping on going, HQ 20 is required to get 6 engine rooms right down in here. And once you get 6 engine rooms, you get access to bullet and seekers. So really, really nice to have seekers and bullet late in the tree. And then if you're HQ 22, you're required to get 7 engine rooms. So as you can see up here, artillery very, very late in the season. Barrage also fairly late in the season, not super late. This is the biggest gap right here. As you can see from, what is that? That is from 3 engine rooms to 4 engine rooms is absolutely huge. There are so many different choices and pathways in there, going to be very, very interesting. And then you get over into here where you're at the, what is that, 5 engine room to 6 engine room, and it's a super straight path. You can jump from 5 to 6 very, very quickly, and then come back and get bombardiers or shocks potentially. Anyways, that is my entire sneak peek, keeping it incredibly short. Hopefully that was helpful for you guys. If there's something that I've missed, please do throw it in the comments. As I mentioned earlier, mines and boom mines not going to be super useful, and a bunch of these choice nodes do have mines inside. So I think that 2-engine rooms is going to be a complete and utter massacre. Get the heck away from there. Otherwise, that's the entire sneak peek. Wanted to keep it short and brief. I will see you guys on the Warships. As always, thanks for coming in. I'm Zedmont. Peace.